Hey everyone, thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. It's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on all the projects from beginning to end so you can work with me and be part of the whole entire process and ask your questions along the way. If you are working on something with me, be sure to share it over in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook here. So thanks again for joining me. We are continuing on the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt along. So here is the book again for that. And I'm in the finish the old blocks mode still. So I went back through my binder. I only have 2 blocks that I don't have finished that I've started already. I have a whole lot of blocks that aren't done yet because they release 4 new blocks for this quilt along every Thursday, and I can barely get one done, if that. So I have a lot of ones that have been released that I haven't started yet, but of the ones I've started, there's only 2 left that are unfinished, and we're gonna work on the Clamshells tonight. So this is the 3rd block we started, so it's been a while. And this is how far we are on it. I have started the embroidery of the little flowers, and I've also started the clamshell. So here's the top row of the clamshells. Let's see if I can hold it both here at the same time. So those will eventually go here on the little embroidery like that. The flowers will be coming out of the clamshells, and there'll be three tiers of those, of the clamshells. So we're gonna work on the embroidery part tonight. I have 2 more flowers to do. Let's see if we can get through those, because before I do more clamshells, I need to get those that embroidery done. So that's the plan for tonight. We're just gonna keep consistency and patience. That's what this is about here. So we're gonna keep ticking away at these blocks. Oh, you love this block, Shauna? Yeah, it's really sweet. And this is the first time that I had to address embroidery floss colors for my quilt here, and I'm doing a very pale kind of, we've been calling it the blonde quilt, you know, I didn't do really bright colors like in the image here, so how was I still gonna have the flowers look like flowers but still have my muted palette? So this is the first time we looked at that, and that was kind of fun. So all right, I'm gonna tilt you guys around and let's get started. Let's see how far we can get on this guy tonight. Okay, here is my space for the evening. I'll get you guys down here. Okay, so I'll just kind of show you kind of where we left this again. So I read the instructions before starting tonight again, and it looks like they want for the stem and this center is a stem stitch, then back stitch for the petals, and then lazy daisy stitches, or just like a single chain stitch for the leaves there. And we're gonna do the same thing, and it looks like I even saved, I keep all the stuff for a project together, so I've kept notes here. So I have my 3 threads here. I didn't have to say which is which because I have 1 completed, but we'll do the same like stem, petal, and then center. I just really like these. They're really, they're variegated, which is fun, which means they change colors throughout. These are Weeks Dye Works, which is a brand of, oh God, Carrot, that's the perfect name for this color. They're a embroidery floss manufacturer, Weeks Dye Works. And here's some of the floss that I already started splitting into threads. We're gonna use 2 strands of floss for all of this. I typically do 3 strands, but in the instructions she said 2, so I'm gonna do 2 strands. Oh, I've not done connection yet, I don't think Linda. All right, and I just wanted to share with you guys where I'm at with these. So these are the clamshells. I've been doing the glue method, so this is actually glued on here temporarily. I've cut them larger. I have the templates, so I've cut little templates from my postcards. So here's like one of my postcards here. I drew all the templates I needed on here, and the templates are in the back of the book. And I've I haven't cut them out yet. I'm cutting them out as I go, I guess. So I have 3 here. I've cut the piece of fabric just bigger, like a 1/4 inch larger. And then I'm folding and gluing, like I put glue along the edge of my postcard, and then I just gradually folded over and over and over to get these edges. So I did that for these 3, and then I've just kind of clipped them together with a little tack of thread there. So just looped around at the joining places. So just right at the points. Right at the tips, where the tips meet there, that's where I've put a little tack. So this is the first row, and I've marked the first row on here. The rows after that, are kind of like bricks. So the next row would be 4 and go here, and then I think another 3 at the bottom. And we've actually already picked all that fabric too. I was real organized back when we started this. So in order from left to right, top to bottom rows, I have all my little fabrics trimmed already. So from these, from left to right, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7 at the bottom. So that's what these fabrics are for. So again, I'll cut this out, then I will trim a fabric piece so it's 1/4 inch bigger than the template, and then gluing them on and tacking them together. After that, I will take this out. The template out. I'll probably press it with an iron first, and then I'll just kind of scrape the glue out of here. It should hold the shape enough for us to tack it down. So then I will stitch it down here. All right, so let's start stitching. Let's do embroidery. So I can tell that I used an embroidery hoop for this. I can see the circle shape. I wasn't sure if I did, but I can clearly see the shape there. So let's get this out. I have just a little 4-inch embroidery hoop. Any bigger than this and your fabric's gonna kind of go over the edge. You could try and do it without a hoop too if you wanted, but I'm gonna use the hoop. And I will be going over, like I'll be putting the hoop over stitching that I've already done. So you want to be extra careful because we don't want to stretch out those stitches. So I'm going to make my embroidery hoop, I'm going to loosen it even more so it gets even bigger. And I'm going to start kind of where those stitches are, just so I can control it a little bit better there. Get those squished, and then I'll put it over the top like that and pull the rest. Pull it a little bit. But yeah, I don't want to distort these stitches if I can manage it. So now I can tighten it a little bit. All right, and then pull on it a bit. So I've centered this next one that I'm going to do here. So luckily with this block, I believe, yeah, we started with a 7-inch square. So if I rough up the edges, like I am with my hand here, I have it in a hoop, I'm probably gonna need to trim these. It's set up for that because we're gonna actually end up with a 6.5-inch block. We're gonna trim it to that. So since we started with a 7-inch square, we can kind of rough up the edges a little. It's not gonna matter. All right, I'm gonna start with that stem stitch. Let's see what I got hanging out here yet for that tan color. Okay, that's the color, right? Do I have, this looks like that color too. Yeah, all right, so I do have, oh, that's not much. I'll set that aside. I don't think that's enough for me. Let's use this piece. Yeah, this is better. So this is more in the 18-inch, 24-inch range. So it's still got, I think it's got 4 threads here. So I only want 2. So I'm gonna pull out 2 threads one at a time. So I'm just gonna isolate 1 thread from the rest of them and hold it in my fingers here and then pull on that. It's gonna look like a crazy nest back there, but as soon as I get the whole thread out, it releases, and you can just drag your hand through that, and it'll just be super duper released. It won't be tangled or anything. So anyway, I need one more strand, so let's grab that. There, you can pull it out really quickly here, and then just run my hand through that again. All right, set that aside for later. Get these two strands back together. Geez, you guys are having record heat in Australia, and we're having just so much snow. Did you guys see my Instagram stories for the day? My husband was out snow plowing and basically helping the neighborhood with getting their cars. So two people, when they came home from work, tried to. They plowed the snow, you know, the city, and two neighbors tried to just get through, that amount of snow from the city, and that didn't work so well. So they both got hung up on. Like they high centered themselves, so they got the middle of their car hung up on the snow. So my husband was snow plowing ours, and then actually our car battery died because he put the car in the driveway but just left the keys in. But when the keys are in our car, the headlights are on. So while he was snow plowing, that was enough to drain the battery. So he was going to go over. He saw our neighbor was out in the yard, and was going to go ask him if he could help jump the car, and the neighbor's SUV was stuck high centered on the big snowdrift. So John first helped him with that, and then I don't know if they jumped the car or he just got it to work or what. But yeah, and then we're like looking at our neighbors across the driveway, and they've been at work all day, so they got 6 inches of snow in their driveway, plus the 2-foot thing of snow that the plow plowed into their driveway. And he's got this little car, and he thought he could get in, and he got stuck real quick too. So John happened to be outside at that point too, and he went over and helped our neighbor too. Oh man. We actually made it out for a little while. It's funny, I wrote that Instagram post today of just kind of having cabin fever a little bit. And it was hard for me to focus. I couldn't I got barely anything done today, which is so annoying. But immediately when I was writing that post, John came into my office and was like, we need a field trip. Let's go somewhere. So we made our Target run. So we went out to Target pick up a few things for a few minutes, and that felt good just to get out a little bit. Oh yeah, so yep, we got our vents, luckily it doesn't drift where our vents are, so we do, and our vents go up a little higher than a lot of other places, so I have been checking though, our vents are not getting covered by the snow, so that's good, but yes, some people have to do that. Oh, we did not try the snowshoes today. Oh, I was going to do that today. We kind of just did our little field trip to Target instead. Dang, I'm going to have to do that tomorrow. Oh, I'm bummed I forgot about that. We even talked about it this morning. Grr. I think there was just so much drama with the cars today that we just didn't think about it. All right, we're just kind of cruising through the stem stitch. The stem stitch is just fast. I know I haven't explained it very much, but we have another stem over here, and I'll walk you through the stem stitch a little bit more. We're doing the little single chain stitches. So here's what it looks like, and I'll show you how we do one with the next stitch. So we're getting a little loose in here. So I just keep tightening it a little bit more. Put them by your door. We should. I think I'll do that. They're in they're stored. The snowshoes are stored in a bag, but I think they're in John's office, so I'll have to grab them. They should be right by the door. All right, I'm coming up. Here's the little kind of leafy bit. It's a point at one end, like a little teardrop. So I'm coming up at the point, and then I'm making my thread go kind of like around in a circle here, like around the whole stitch, the design, and I'm going right back in that same point. And then in the same motion, you can do it in the same motion or you can do it separately. I'll show you both. So in the same motion, I'm going to come up kind of at the peak of the arch here for the droop part of the U part of that teardrop. And then I'm going to just make sure that my thread goes underneath the needle there, and you can pull it through the rest of the way. The trick is we need our thread that's connected to the needle to catch the loop. So it has to be on the inside of that loop like that. Because once we get to here, we're going to catch that thread is holding that loop. And you don't want to pull too tight. If you pull too tight, then it'll just look like a straight stitch, right? So not every stitch needs to be totally tight. We're going to leave this just super loose, and that will give us that rounded shape. So just like that. I didn't pull it tight. And then I'm going to tack it down, since that's going to just come loose like that if we don't tack it down. So I'm going to just go right directly on the other side of that U shape. I'm just right across from it, and we are going to just tack it down with that teeny tiny little stitch. There we go. See, there's that tiny little stitch there. And that's that. I need to get more thread. There we go. All right, one more. So this one I'll do the stabbing method. So I come up through that point again. I make my thread go in that circular shape, and then back in that same hole, and I can come all the way through, and then see that loop that's happening. I need to come back up through in the middle of that loop. So poking my needle back up through, again, that apex of that U shape, and catching that loop and not pulling it tight, just leaving it that pretty teardrop shape, and then tacking it down. And that's that. We're done with that color for that flower. So let's weave in the ends. I always weave in my ends instead of tying knots. I just go back and forth 3 times, grabbing as many stitches as I can to just kind of lock everything in place. It's really that third time around that locks it in place. Okay. There we are. And then I just trim it close to the threads there. And we got a nice, neat, flat back there. Okay, so that guy is ready. Our little stem there. What is next? I think let's do the back stitch for the petals. So how I like to think about an embroidery piece like this, like how to know what to stitch next, I think about what in the picture is the furthest back. Like if I'm trying to do this flower here, what's the furthest back? Like what's layered on top of each other, like in real life, if you're thinking about it. Well, the stem is here, but it looks like this petal is in front of it, and it looks like this circle thing is in front of the petals. So I always start with the furthest back shape typically, and then I do the shape that's in front of that, which will be the petals, and then I do the shape that's in front of that. And the reason that I do that is So like here, this is the furthest back, the stem, and then the flower. Look how the flower kind of overlaps that stem. I like that effect. You know, I have a stitch going right across the tip of that stem there, and that makes the petals feel like they're in front of that stem, I think. So that's why when I'm kind of looking at a piece, if you're scared, you don't know where to start, think about starting with the furthest object back. So again, that's why I did the stem first here. All right, let's do those petals. The petals are back stitched, and there's still that 2 strands. And I got this little mass here yet. Here's some yellow. This looks like, ooh, I think I already have the 2 strands here. Yep, the 2 strands are split here already, so I'm just going to thread this right away. The way I thread a needle is I squish, I mean this, first of all, I'll cut a better tip. Like look how fuzzy that tip is. Let's start better. So here we go. There is the nice clean tip, and I will put that right in between my fingers here, where you don't even see the tip of it. So I pinch my fingers, and as I unpinch, you can see the tip appear. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to pinch, and as soon as I see that tip appear right there, I'm going to lay my needle on top of it and kind of push down, and I'm going to keep unpinching, and the thread will just keep going through, and then I'll just grab that thread, pull it through. I really like that way of doing it. Okay. So, and then to start my next row, if there's stitches near where I'm going to start, then I weave in the backs of the stitches. And in this case, I can weave in the back of this stem and then start stitching right here, it looks like. And this keeps me from having to start with a knot, this weaving into stitches that I already have. Otherwise, we have to use a different technique to start out with the weaving. And that's when I do the away knot. Okay. Back up. Again, it's that 3 times. And I can kind of trim this little end that's sitting here too. Okay. Let's stitch. All right, I think we'll get this leaf in. Or it's not a leaf, it's a petal. All right, I'm gonna shorten my thread. There we go. Would have maybe been cool to do this one in orange with orange petals and a yellow inside, but I think it'll be pretty with them all the same. Yeah, I like the pinching method. It works for me. It definitely doesn't work for everyone. I'd say give it a try. It might just take some practice, but yeah, if there's like eyesight problems and something, yeah, that'd be a little difficult. It's still going to be easier than sucking on the end and holding the thread far away from the needle and trying to get it through the eye of the needle. But you know, a needle threader might be the way to go still. So back stitch takes a bit more time, I think, than the stem stitch. I think I'm going to do all the petals first, like going around the edge of the petals, and then I'll come back and do these little center lines of the petals.
I'm just kind of trying to map out. I always try and map out where I'm going to go so I can move like the least amount. And I think I can go boop, 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 boop. And then start on the inside, go up, and then back down, and then go up and down and up and down. I think that map will do for me. Yeah, clean cut for sure. Make sure the end of your thread is a nice clean cut. That's a good part of the battle right there. Oh, you love the pinch method, Leslie. Yay, but can't make it work with a size 11 needle. That's the thing. With an embroidery needle, it's a little easier because the eye is so big, but yeah. I mean, you guys saw how much trouble I had threading my machine needle with that thicker thread last night. I couldn't just poke it through. I still use the pinching method, but it was tough. I'm going to look into some needle threaders. My mom just ordered one to thread her really small straw needles as well. Because those straw needles, those size 11, those size 10, 11 straw needles, which are really thin. Those are the really thin needles that I've been using for the needle turn applique and English paper piecing. And oh, they're just so good. Just how thin they are, you can just get the tiniest couple little threads. They don't make large holes. They're just really great. And I should get one just to show you how different they are. But those definitely are a bit harder to thread. So here's my embroidery needle. This is a size 5 embroidery needle, I believe. All right, got to get Zeb out over here. Here's my little fish museum and circus guy. Let's see. Oh, here we are. So here is, this is my super bent one. Let's grab another. All right. Here is my size 11 straw needle. So look at the difference. So first of all, size 5, the bigger the number, the lower the number, the bigger the needle, the fatter the needle. This is a size 5 versus a size 11. So much thinner. So this is really good at going through like a tighter weave fabric. Like quilting fabric is pretty tightly woven. So sometimes a bigger needle like this is harder to pull through. Like if you're having a really hard time, you have to kind of yank through. It might be because you're using just too much thread, or your needle is too big, or the fabric is just too tight to go through. So that's the big needle. But yeah. Here's that straw needle, but look at the size of the eyes. Let's get these real close. So I would never be able to put, there we go, look at the eye. So this one is itty bitty bitty bitty. Maybe it's easier to see there, yeah. And how big the embroidery one is. So clearly this is meant for larger thread that can accommodate, or that the eye can accommodate. You can use as big a thread as you want, as long as you can fit in there. I would never be able to fit much in that tiny hole there, and that's when we use our sewing thread. So that's when I've been using just my 50 weight thread. So even that's a little difficult to thread through that little eye. Oh, but it's so nice for that applique and for that English paper piecing when we do it. So keep it around. You've seen me thread the 11, with the 50 weight. Yeah, with the 50 weight thread. That's what I was just holding, was the 50 weight thread. But yeah, I know a lot of people like doing, I've never used it before, but a lot of people like using 80 weight thread, which is even thinner. So this is embroidery floss, but it's close to the size of 12 weight thread. So thread is kind of the same way as needles. The smaller the number, the bigger it is. So 12 weight is what we used last night on the elephant. That thicker thread in the machine to just kind of make it look like hand embroidery stitches. And 50 weight is what I typically use in my sewing machine and what I've been using for my applique. But what some people have said that they like using, I've never used it before, but it's 80 weight, which is even finer than the 50 weight. Getting used to the size 11 milliners took you a while. Oh, you kept poking yourself. I still poke myself a lot with that needle. But it's so thin and nice. Oh, I think I missed a little bit of this, but Noeline, did you win the Splendid Sampler like raffle or giveaway of the week? It sounds like is that what you guys are talking about? Because dang, that's cool. Oh, you do heirloom sewing, Gina, a lot, and you use the 80 weight. Oh, okay. So do you notice a significant difference between the 80 weight and the 50 weight? I'm wondering. You don't know, shouldn't a thread be hefty due to quilt use? You know, that's a good theory, Gretchen. However, there's so many stitches that you're using within a quilt that it's kind of like a surface area thing. Like where, you know, like if you're laying on a bed of nails, it's not going to hurt as much as if you just step on one nail. You know, like it's dispersed through all of the nails, basically. I think it's kind of similar. I might just be talking crazy here, but I think it's kind of similar with thread. There's so much thread in a quilt that it's not just, you know, it's not going to just fall apart. If there's, I mean, if you're using, you know, if there's an area that you know is going to get abused a lot, you might want to add extra stitching in there. Oh yeah, so Gina's saying that the 80 is a lot thinner feeling. But yeah, so it doesn't depend on the fabric and stuff too. So if you're using a really fine, delicate fabric, then you're not going to want to use big, thick thread and a big, thick needle because it's gonna basically damage the fabric. You're gonna see it pucker and do some weird things. We got a little knot here. And you don't want to use super duper duper fine thread with, you know, if you're doing a quilt out of like jeans, for example. You do kind of want to match the durability a little bit. And I think what's argued more even is that you match the content. So if you're using cotton fabric, then ideally you use cotton thread. Or if you're doing clothing that has like some stretch and all that in it, then maybe use a less breakable, like polyester type thread. All right, I think I'm gonna have just enough to go around this once. I missed what you guys are saying again. What's the file that's too big? Something for the Splendid Sampler. I'm gonna have just enough stitches, I think, to make it around this petal, and then we're gonna have to get some new thread for this center area. Oh man, you guys, I have just the tiniest tickle in my throat, and I really, really, really hope that I'm not gonna get a cold. Like I really hope. I'm just gonna have to, I think when I'm done here tonight, I'm gonna drink some tea and just chill for a little because, oh, that would just be the worst. I don't want a cold like more than anything. Oh, the photos for the giveaway. Oh, is it just, if I haven't done one of those, is it difficult to upload the photos? Could you do it in Facebook and then you might be able to save the image and, I don't know, save the image and post it somewhere else. On your phone, if you go into the settings of your phone, like if you're in the photo area of your phone, there should be like a little hamburger menu or a little, one of those little gears. If you click into there, it'll say size of photo somewhere. How big do you want your photo? And there you can probably make the size of the photo smaller. So like instead of 1024 by, what is it? I don't know, 780 by whatever the measurements are. If you choose the one with the smaller numbers, it will be more pixelated. The smaller the number you get, which means it's a lower quality photo. But if you need a lower quality, like, which means that the file is smaller, you could do it just for that photo. And then you could go back and then put your photo resolution, the like size of your image bigger again. And then you'd have a smaller photo that might work. All right, here we are. Is there any more yellow? I think I saw yellow in here yet. Ooh, this might not be quite long enough, but we're gonna give it a try. All right. Oh, it's through link up and it's too confusing. Oh, weird, link up. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff still isn't very mobile friendly, which forces you to do it on the computer. A lot of times I have to email myself photos, which is annoying too if I want to see it on the computer. You sip on pickle juice when your throat starts to hurt? Oh my gosh. I wonder if it's like a salt thing. Do I have any salty drinks? I don't think I have pickle juice. All right, I think I'm going to try and do these all in 2 stitches. That's what I did here, and I think that'll preserve my thread a little bit. Hope I have just enough thread for here. Salt and vinegar. Oh, I might have some vinegary type stuff. Yeah, I was with some people who mentioned getting over a cold for the past 2 weeks, and I was thinking, no, don't be by me. But we'll see. I'll try and get some sleep and drink water, which I have not been doing well lately either. Gargle salt water. Oh, I could do that. We always used to do that when we had, I don't know, super sore throats when we were little. Your doctor recommends pickle juice? Oh, funny. Ooh, ginger tea. Ooh, I might have ginger tea. Or, yeah, I mean ginger. That's a good idea. Ginger and, oh, juice of a lemon. Do we have any lemon? I think we might have some limes. I'll have to check. For a while, I was thinking that we should just have some lemons around for lemon water, but I don't know. That might have been a while ago. Oh, I don't have any Listerine. But yeah, maybe I'll try a little gargling with salt water tonight. I'm thinking if I have a tickle in my throat, it's probably I'm probably doomed from the get-go. I'm gonna hope that it's a nothing thing though. I've been a little more distracted than usual, and I think I'm a little tired right now and a little sore throat, so none of that's adding up to be very good right now. Ugh, boo. But the ginger tea sounds good. I might do that. Pretty sure we usually keep some ginger around. Maybe we have some lemon juice hanging out still. I don't know. Okay. I think we'll have just enough. Ha! Don't confess it, you'll possess it. That's funny. I've never heard that before. All right, last little, I don't know, petal veins, I suppose these are. I think we'll finish this flower tonight, and then tomorrow we can finish up that last flower. Oh, lime juice works well too. Oh, and sweetened with honey or sugar. I think we have some honey. Yeah, my brother just got us a bunch of local honey for Christmas. There we go. Let's weave in those ends, but we got a second little flower happening here. It's a little difficult to weave in the ends with the embroidery hoop so close to the edge. So I have to kind of go around a few times. Usually I like using a far bigger embroidery hoop so I can have like my whole design centered in it, but we're using just this little piece of fabric. So there's not much for the embroidery hoop to grab onto. Snip. Okay. Cute. All right, let's grab some of this orange. We're still using our scrap yarn, which is cool. Oh gosh, could this be even close to enough? I think we're gonna risk it. I think this was a cut. I think this is the piece that was left over from this one, so I'm not sure there's enough thread here, but I'm gonna give it a go. Oh gosh, we're gonna be cutting it close though, because we're gonna do the stem stitch again, which is actually, I find the stem stitch kind of tough for tight circles like this, so let's just give it a try here. All right, let's weave in the ends again, just to get it started. We'll do this center, and then I think we'll be done for the evening. Ooh, even a spoonful of honey works. That sounds yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, let's start here. Some way, the best way to do the stem stitch is when the, so how to do a stem stitch. So I came in from the beginning. I'm going to go around the circle or the spiral and then end up here. So I'm kind of starting at the base of this. So you start right at the beginning point, and then you go almost like 2 stitch lengths away compared to this back stitch. So like 1, 2. And then you come back up in the middle. But your thread is either up or it's down. And typically you want to try and keep it the same direction. But every once in a while you can turn it. And in this case, we'll leave it in the same direction because if you have it on the inside, like if I'm coming up and it's going to end up on the inside of the arc, like I have this arc going this direction, if I come up in the middle on the inside of that, if this loop's on the outside and my point's on the inside of that arc, then I'll be able to catch the thread. Kind of like how we catch the thread with our Lazy Daisy single chain stitch there. It hopefully will make this arc a little bit better, but I don't always have great luck with that. I'm going to loosen my design a little bit because this stem stitch is a little easier with looser fabric because you can go in and out like that, in and out in one movement, a little easier with the thread or with the fabric a bit looser. Oh, I just remembered, you guys. I'll make sure to say this tomorrow as well, but I am going to not be here on Thursday. My husband and I are gonna go on a date, which we don't do very often. So it's Valentine's Day on Thursday, and we thought we'd go to a movie and go out to eat. I think it's supposed to be super snowy and everything still, but luckily both places are, if we got in a crash or something, or if we got stranded, both places are walkable to our house. So it wouldn't be it'd be annoying, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. But yeah, so we're gonna go watch a movie. We're gonna have a super early dinner because those are the only reservations we could get, and then we're gonna go to a movie and just like wander the mall a little bit before the movie because we'll be done with dinner. We'll eat dinner in slow motion. Well, that'll be fun. We don't go to movies very often anymore either. And we've been busy lately. So this will be a nice little break. Oh gosh, you won't be here either, Suzanne. You're having cataract surgery. Well, that's not a good. That's no fun. That's not a good Valentine's Day. All right, now I'm continuing this little spiral up here. Oh, we have plenty of thread. I thought we were gonna run out, but we have probably just enough. Actually, we don't have plenty. We have just enough. So sometimes on smaller, tighter curves like this, I also make my stitches a little bit smaller just to mimic that circular shape a little bit more. So I'll do that here too. Yeah, exactly. Buy some chocolates when you're done. I hope you have someone at least driving you there and back. I suppose you probably have to. Just think about how nice it'll be when you're all healed, though. That'll be nice. All right, and the last stitch, I'm just gonna go down in that last stitch there. All right, so here we go. Cute little center. I'm gonna weave in the ends there, and I think we will take it out of the hoop and see what we got so far. Like I said, we're putting some patience and consistency into here, just a little bit at a time. You know, an hour here and there in the evening, and we're getting these blocks done. I don't think we're going to spend nearly as much time on this block as we did on the grandfather clock one, though. That one, I think I did 10 videos for that one, which means about 10 hours put into that block. But all right, here it is. Aw, it's looking cute. And now I got to see what it looks like with our little clamshells in there again. Cute. Cute, cute. I'm pretty stoked about this. I love the colors that we used for this. They feel like little white. Oh, we talked about this once before. What are those little white flowers? Oh, kind of like those little white flowers that grow right early spring, like through the snow. I don't think they look in this shape though, but I'm gonna pretend that that's what these are. These are mounds of snow, and they're coming up to be spring. So there we go. So one more tomorrow. So that'll probably take the same amount of time as this one took. The stem is a lot smaller and everything, but I think like forget me now. That's what I think I'm. Oh, Edelweiss, that too. Oh man, lots of cute little white flowers. I'm pretending that this yellow is actually white in my brain. All right, so yep, tomorrow we'll do this. And then it's New Block Thursday on Thursday, but I won't be here for that. So on Friday we'll see what the new blocks were, and we'll see. It'll be a surprise what we work on, I suppose. All right, I'm gonna turn you guys around. Hello, hello. All right, let me just show you this. It's always different, I think, when a person is next to it, then you can kind of see the real size of things. But there, that's gonna be super sweet, I think, in the quilt. Just really delicate. So yay, like it. Oh, and I want to see what it looks like with the little clamshells. Let's see if I can hold them. There. Oh my god, those clamshells are so cute. I love these guys. So I'm stoked. I want to keep working on this. Like I said, I'm in the finish all the things mode right now. So I only have this and then one paper piecing block that I've half started, and I really would love to get those two done. Oh, the crocuses bloom through the snow. That's what I was thinking of. I don't think these look like crocuses, if I remember what crocuses look like, but I like that idea of blooming through the snow. I need that image in my head for a little bit. Oh man. And you guys, if you didn't check out my Instagram stories from today, go check it out. To watch stories, you go to Instagram, and I'm Penguin and Fish, so Penguin A-N-D Fish, all one word, in Instagram. And I hope that you follow me there. But if you click the circle that has my head in by the name, then you can see my stories, and you can click through there, and you'll see all the snow and poor John helping the neighbors out. So thanks again for joining me tonight. I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube, and I will see you tomorrow. We'll do some more embroidering. So see you later, guys. Good night.